Hello everyone, SVTDI here, and I'm back with Dark Souls. An episodic Let's Play of Dark Souls, yes indeed. There's gonna be really short episodes, and this one is gonna be extremely short because it's basically gonna be us running to Undead Parish, which is gonna be pretty quick. But that's why also we're gonna talk about a little bit of story development, and actually we're gonna talk about firekeepers, and we're gonna talk about time itself, the convolution of time and all of that in Dark Souls. So first of all, let's escape to the bonfire, and let's start our story basically with the bonfire keepers. Bonfire keepers are, well, in fact, first of all, let's start with the bonfire itself. The bonfire is basically a waypoint to humans. The bonfire, all humans are linked to the bonfire because they have been branded with the dark sign, created by Lord Gwyn. I keep saying all these things as they are true. I do believe that they are true, that Lord Gwyn actually created the dark ring to control the humans and to keep humans at bay and to not try to ascend to godhood, just like he proclaimed he did and all his family did. The bonfire is an important being because bonfires are the only way to restore your own humanity, which basically assured the people devout to Gwyn and to his pantheon, because they will give him because he will grant basically through bonfires humans their soul back, which basically I think is that the dark soul, or actually the lords of soul, the Lord Soul in Gwyn has the power to grant other people's souls, and I think since more people died, that is actually how the soul actually got weaker, because it's, you know, he granted lives to other people. In fact, Islev's the only soul that grew weaker was actually Gwyn's soul. The Lord, that Lord Nito, really? Nito. His Lord's soul didn't grow weaker. In fact, it didn't change at all. It didn't. It stayed the same. He just made sure that more and more undead, the more they die, that they, you know, more undead are actually buried. Sorry, that they actually go and turn skeleton instead of staying, well, you know, pygmy form basically, which is the undead form. He made sure of that. Islev, of course, mutated her own soul to try to extend the age of fire, while Gwyn himself granted people humanity and the human form, basically giving back their their own thoughts, as the dark soul probably is, or humanity, just to keep in power and be, you know, continue being a god instead of just being a power-hungry human. So what are the firekeepers? The firekeepers are there to prove the legitimacy of Gwyn. Well, they're probably there to keep the legitimacy of Gwyn, because we've seen in Dark Souls 2 that firekeepers do not actually need to be next to bonfires, because bonfires can be lit by anyone. So that's why firekeepers are probably there just to grant legitimacy to Gwyn and his own pantheon. That'd be, you know, forcibly, or you know, willingly, or maybe even the bonfire itself took control of some of the characters, or Gwyn put the soul there and branded them the keepers of the bonfire, just like he did with Anastasia, and just like he did with the Fair Lady or Quelon. They're probably forced into being the keepers of the bonfire to prove the legitimacy of Gwyn. The time. I want to talk about time. So let's talk about time. It's obvious that the time is convoluted in Dark Souls, because we can summon the heroes of old, and, you know, they will come and help us. Now, here's the thing.
Here's something really weird, which we might actually think about as being the reason why the weather doesn't change actually in Dark Souls. It could be so because, let's be honest, Bloodborne doesn't actually have that. Bloodborne doesn't have the weather stays the same. It actually progresses through the day. Like it goes day, midday, afternoon, night, day, afternoon, night, day, afternoon, night. So it actually progresses. It doesn't actually stay the same. It actually progresses into a way a day should. While Dark Souls, the time itself is convoluted, so the time actually stays in one place. The time doesn't change in Dark Souls, and that's the very interesting thing. You move, you feel like you're doing this great adventure, you know, that should probably take days, maybe even weeks or months. Well, in fact, the time hasn't moved a second. The moment you escaped from the undead asylum, the time has stopped. Why do I say this? Well, in the Northern Asylum, there was not that much of a day. It was more like a morning, actually, rather than a day. Well, this is clearly day. This is not morning. This is clearly day. Like, this is really day. There's no morning in it. That's day. This is clearly day, basically. And I could be wrong about Northern Asylum. It could be even throughout the whole time, actually. You know, throughout the beginning of and the Age of Fire ended at the time itself stopped. Could be. So, what does that tell us about ourselves? Are we lost in time, actually? Does the time itself have no concept in Dark Souls? Possible. I don't think it's true, actually. I think that, in fact, time itself has stopped working. There's no like time convolution and all that thing. There's no times are warping and all that. I think that time itself has stopped working throughout the whole land. Since the Age of Fire stopped and ended, so does the time itself. Think about it. And I'm gonna end the episode now. Just think about it. That's something to think about. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'll really appreciate the support. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.